So yesterday we talked about command object execution methods. We have three execution methods like execute non-query, execute reader, execute scalar. These are more widely used. We have another one related to XML. So if you want, you can refer that as well. So execute non-query is used to work with the action queries, and it returns the number of rows affected in the database. Okay. So it returns the count of rows affected by the query. Whatever the query we pass, then the rows that are affected count will be returned. It is of type integer. Okay. Whether if we capture that, we can display some meaningful message like how many the number of rows affected are 2, 3 like that. So when it comes to execute reader, this will work with only non-action queries. Mostly we use this for the data reader object. We use with the data reader object. So it returns the query result set. So suppose if I am selecting some records, it will return that result, query result. Okay. So its return type is data reader. So we use execute reader when we are going with the connection oriented architecture. That means data reader. Okay. Its return value is compulsory and should be assigned to another object like data reader. Next thing is like execute scalar. This will work with non-action queries that contains aggregate functions like sum, average, min, max. Whenever we have such queries, we can go for execute scalar, and it returns the as the result will be in the form of table. So the result will be the aggregate functions will return only single value. So that will be at the location of first row, first column. So the first row, first column, it will return. The type is object. So return value is also compulsory. We should assign it to any other variable. So we talked about it and we saw one example with execute non-query. Like, just a second. So we saw an example like deleting a record. Okay. Delete from a student where some ID equal to 5. We saw an example with that, and we used execute non-query to check whether record is deleted or not. So that way we displayed some message. Then rather than passing hard-coded value, we tried an example with text box, right? So we took a text box to enter the ID and we passed that ID here, right? So that way we deleted a record. The next, while passing itself, we saw text appending as well as the parameters, passing parameters with the command objects. We saw both the examples, right? Like this and like this, properties as well as the command appending the string with the values, whatever the values we entered, right? So this is what yesterday we covered. So yesterday we covered like creating, selecting, and deleting. So today we are going to cover update scenario. Okay. So first we have to fetch the database record. Then we have to bind that values to the controls. So if user changes whatever the value he changes, we have to update that back to the database. Okay. Just to make it clear, let me take another web form. Update student. Okay. I'm just taking another web form and I'll design it. So first, I'll take a table. So I'll take 5 rows, 2 columns, 6 rows, 2 columns, and some background color if you want, we can use. Okay. And just click some padding. Okay, width is of 50, right? So I'll merge these two. Right click, modify, merge cells. So it will become a single row. I'll assign. I'll go to properties and I'll see whether I can assign center or not. I'll go to code and I'll write So style text align equal to center. Okay, just saved it. So now I can type the text in the center of the column. Student register, student updation, student details updation. Okay, form, right? So I just sent set a message. So I'll take a name label here, or simply I'll put some text. So I'll take a text box here. So I'll take a text box for name, then for age, then for address or city. Okay. So I'll assign them text right for this. Style, or we can give class name, and we can use that here. Let me write a class here. Chart. Align right. Okay. This is my class. Text align right. So I'll use this class now. With name. Okay. Just reusing the class name for 3 rows. So name, age, address or city. Okay. So I'll make it center. Right. Now I'll take a button here. I'll take a button. This is to update. Okay. Update details. Right. Update details. Next thing, I'll take a get details button as well. First, fill details. I'll take it like fill details. Okay, looks like it got updated with text align right. Okay, no problem. Button. I'm just naming it as fill details. Okay. Style 3, text align right. Okay. I'll make it style 2. So this way, so on clicking this fill details button, so I'll give a ID property, txt fill, btn fill student. Okay, this is my button ID, and also I'll give name to ID to it like btn update. Now when I click fill details, I want to load the student details, particular student details. Okay. So now SQL connection. Now if you get any doubts, let me know. So first I'll using system.data.sql client. Okay. I'm just importing the required namespace, then creating a connection class, SQL connection equal to no SQL connection. So we can specify the connection string here. So let me copy previous one. So I have a connection string and I have created a command object. Now what is my query? Command dot command text, right? Command text equal to select star from student. Just a second. So select star from student where ID equal to some file. Do we have file record file? Let me check. Okay. Let me connect to my server. Just connecting to database and we'll see whether what are all the records I have. Then we'll take one ID. Not this one. Yeah. So from the databases, I'll go to my database and then select. So select star from student. So I have record with 4, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. So let's take 12. So we are getting particular student details. Then we will bind the details to the text boxes. Okay. So we have 3 text boxes, right? Name, age, address. Whenever I click fill details button, I'll get the particular student details and I'll bind it to these text boxes. Okay. So for that, command dot connection we have to specify. So the connection is stored in the connection object. Now command dot. So I want to use execute radar to read the data. Okay. So I'll read the data and I'll bind it to text boxes. For that, I'm using execute reader. Okay. So to do that, I'll first create an object to the execute reader class. Okay. SQL execute reader, I guess. Just a second. Execute SQL data reader. Yes. So I'm just giving a name as reader equal to new execute new SQL data reader. Okay. Just we'll go and see what are all the methods available. See here, these are the methods available in our properties associated with SQL data reader. Okay. We check. So in order to read the data, we have a read method. Okay. To read the data, we have a read method. Then next we can check like next result. Suppose if we have 2 or more data sets and data tables in the result, so we can use next result method. Okay. So advances the reader to the next result when reading the results of a batch of statements. So when we have multiple data sets or multiple tables data in the reader, so we can use next result. So read method advances the reader to next record in the result set. Read method will be used to read the data, read the particular row data. Okay. So these two we widely use. Like we have some other methods like get into 32. Suppose if the column value we are going to read is into 32, we can read that to particular data type. So using like this method, get into 32, to get the column name, gets the name of the column, we have get name method. Okay. Like if you want to read the string data, we have get string data, like get string method. So we can pass the index number of that column. Like this, we have different methods. You can prefer ones. Like if you have a decimal value, if you want to read the decimal value, we can read using get decimal. If you want to read the get double character value, character, like this, we also have a close method to close the connection, or reader closes the reader object. So we have a has row property. Whether the reader is having rows or not, we can check that with has row method. And how many fields are available in a particular row, we can check that with field count. Okay. So we can associate a connection with the data reader, SQL data reader. For that we use connection property. Okay. These are all the fields and their and its methods to use with the data reader, SQL data reader. Okay. Now, so there is no constructor with 0 arguments. We have to pass command, I guess. So I have used long back. Let's see. Does not contain a constructor that is single argument. Let me check. So we have just a second. SQL data reader. Okay, actually we have to write reader equal to command dot execute reader. Okay. Reader dot has rows, and then we use reader dot. Actually here I have to write like, so no need to define the object. Actually we execute it on command dot execute reader. So its return type is data reader. Yeah. So we will execute command dot execute reader. So execute reader data return type is SQL data reader. So that we assign here. So SQL data reader equal to reader, command equal to execute reader. So we can remove this. Now, so first we will check whether a reader is having, the object is having records or not. Okay, has rows. This is the property. So if we have rows, we will read, otherwise we don't read. Okay. So first we'll check whether the return result reader is having data or not. Okay. Since the SQL command text to command connection and builds a data reader, right? So reader will return the query result. Query result. Suppose if I am writing select star from student where ID equal to 5, it will return the row, because I am returning only one single ID with 5 value, ID 5 value. So that query result will be stored in the data reader. So that I am checking here, like reader dot has rows. Okay. So if we have a row, so we have to use while reader dot read. Suppose if you have multiple records, we use read while loop. If you have single record, we can check, as we are going to read only single record, we can use if, or we can use while as well. Okay, anything is fine. So we use while to loop through the reader. Suppose if I have multiple records, like if I select star from student, so I'll get all these details, right? So to read each row, we use read method. The read method will get this row. Next, if you place it in loop, it will get this row. Next, it will get this row. Next, it will get this row. Like this, the loop will continue and read the data. Okay. So while reader dot read. So first now I have to assign this data to the text boxes. So text box 1, text box 2, text box 3. I have 3 text boxes. Let me name them as let me give them an ID. So to easily understand, so txt name. Okay. So I have to assign data to these text boxes. Txt age. Txt age. Next I'll assign it to, I'll assign name to last one, text box 3. So txt address. Okay. So I have named 3 of the text boxes. Now I will access them with the ID property. Txt name. Txt name dot text property. Right. Now, so I'll get the data into data reader. To access the data reader, okay. So whenever I write a query like where ID equal to 13, so what will I get? So I'll get only single record, right? So to get these details, so here we can read the one by one. So like text name, txt name dot text equal to, so reader will contain a data object or row. Data dot read method will contain a advances the reader to next record, one record, this record, okay. This record. Now I want to read the name, age, address, right? I'll read those details. Just a second. So I'll read that now. So I know that name is of string type. So I can use get string, okay. So the index will start with 0. 0 is the ID property. 1 is the name property. So I have to give 1 index. So read the value from first column. No, sorry, second column. The index value will be 1. Okay. Next thing is like txt age dot text equal to reader dot. So the next value is get integer, but the txt age text is of type string. So I'll assign this to, I'll get only string value. So the next index is 2. So txt address dot text equal to reader dot. So address is also string. So I'm just taking it. Third index. Okay. Now once we read the data, we have to close the data reader for sure. Okay. So we have to close that reader dot close. Otherwise connection will be maintained. Okay. So let's check. Just let's run and see will it work or not, or will get any issue with this code. So first when we click on button fill student, so we are going to fill the data of 13th ID. So we hard coded 12 here, sorry. 12 we hard coded. So we have to fill the details of a student with ID 12. Okay. Let's check that. So now I'm clicking on fill button. So there is an exception, requires a open and available connection. I did not open the connection, so I have to open the connection first. So here before executing the query, I'm just opening the connection. Okay. So data reader will work with connection oriented architecture. So before we execute any command, so we have to must open connection. So that is why it is connection oriented. Connection oriented, we use data reader. Right. So now I'm clicking on fill details. Unable to cast object of type system.int32 to system.string. Yeah. So age is of age, we are storing it into integer type. So we have to convert that to string, right? So convert dot to string. So I am getting it in the form of integer. So I have to convert it into string. Doubts వస్తే అడగండి మధ్యలోని. So clicking on fill. Again an error. Unable to cast object of type system.int32 to type string. Okay, I used get string method. So it's of type get int method. Get int32. Okay. So it is of type int32. So I'm reading with int32. So first I'll put a debugger here. Then here we'll see one by one. So I'm clicking fill details. So debugger is hitting. So I'm opening connection. Connection is open now. I'm executing the reader. So now reader is having some data, right? So we can see that in the result view. So result view is having 0 records. Why? Visible field count 4. Field count is 4. Connection is having. Okay, we'll see that. So we are checking reader is having rows or not. So it has a row. Field count is 4. Having rows is true. Okay. Let's see. While reader dot read method will read the next row, one row. Okay. There are no rows. Reader dot close. Why there are no records? Let me check. We have a record, right? Did I make any mistake here? Connection. User ID, password. Select star from student. Connection, open reader, command that execute reader as rows. Reader dot read. Reader dot read, correct. Let's run again. So let me jump onto the statement again. Okay, that is a problem. So first time it will read. Just a second. Yeah. So now, so we'll read individual property one by one. So first one is Hari. See here, I'm just assigning it one after the other. So as there is only one record, the loop is exited because the read method will return false. Then reader dot close, the reader is closed. Okay. So see now, her name Hari, age 26, address Vizag. So I am able to fill the details now. Any doubts here? So what we did here? So first we established a connection. So why initially it was not filled? The reason is like, so I again jumped to reader, right? So the reader dot read was already true. For the next loop, it become false. So that's why it did not able to fill that data. So what we did here is, so first we established a connection. Then so we defined a connection object, then command object, and I have given command text, then opened connection. So I'm using execute reader method now. Previously we used execute non-query. So as I'm going to read and fill the data into text boxes, I'm using execute reader method because it will return reader object. If I use execute non-query, it will not return the object. It will return only -1. Okay. So that's why I'm using execute reader method here, command.execute reader. So its return type is SQL data reader. So I have defined an object SQL data reader. So if we have records only, we can read. That's why I'm using reader.hasRows. Okay. If we have rows, I'm entering into loop. Suppose I may have multiple records, right? For that, I'm just using while loop. So when I'm so to read the record, to read the entire row, I have to use read method. So if there is a record, it returns true. So it returns Boolean value true if there are more rows, otherwise false. If there are rows available, it returns the true. Okay. So I'm just reading the particular row, reader.get string. So I can simply use reader of 1 as I'm going to expect of type string. So I can use get string. So age is of type integer. So I'm using get int 32. Text address of type string. So I'm using get string. So this way I assigned values to each text box. Once the reading is completed, I have to close the connection. Okay. That is what we discussed here. So first we have to open the connection, we have to pass the query, we have to close the connection. So that is what we are doing here. If we open the connection only, we can execute this method, then we have to close that. Okay. So when we close the reader connection, so it closes the database connection as well, or we can, if it is open, we can close the database connection also. Okay. So with the data reader, we have these many fields like rows affected, visible field count, is closed or not, depth. There are different other methods. You can check that. Okay. Now, so we accomplished half of the task, like getting particular student details and filling into fields like these text boxes. Now, when I click, I can change the name, or I can change the age, or I can change the address. When I click update details button, so I want to update the data. Okay, I want to update the data. So for that, so as we did yesterday, so we did it here. Right? So the same way, like adding. So I'll take the same thing, same code. I'll go to update, click. So first I have to establish a connection. So for that, I wrote this line, then command. So the command will become update student, update student. So first we'll try here to update a student details. What we will do? So we will write query like this: update student. Okay. Update student, set name equal to Harish. I have Hari now. I want to set it to Harish. So I have to, if I write like this, it will update all the names of the rows to Harish. So to avoid that, I'm setting a where condition where ID equal to 12. Okay. So whoever is having 12 ID, those records will be set to Harish. The name will be set to Harish. Let me run it. Okay. It is taking as column. So let me give it in a single quote. One row affected. Okay, let me check whether it got updated or not. See here, it is Harish. Okay. So this way we have to write the query, but I may update name here. I may update name, or I may update age. I may update address, right? So I'll add all three fields here like name, age, address with ID 12. Okay. So I don't know which student ID details I am displaying here. So for that, I'll add one more column. So I'll assign that ID to I'll display student ID here so that it will be more clear. So student ID is of ID. We are not going to edit. So I'm using label now. As we are not going to update this label. So the text will be empty initially. So the label, I'm giving an ID, label student ID. So my label ID is student ID. So I'll assign this data in the get details method here. So label student ID dot text equal to reader dot get integer get into 32 of 0. The index of the value is 0. So as this is an integer type, to assign to text, so we have to convert to string. Converting it into string. Okay. So that way I'm able to assign display student ID here. Okay. Now, so we'll go back to update method. So update student set. So name equal to. So we will get this value in first text box, this txt name. So I'm setting, so I'm going to use properties. So I'm setting P1, okay, property name 1. Next age equal to at P2, okay. So next address equal to at P3, okay. The next where condition, where ID equal to, my ID will be 12. So for now I'm hard coding it, okay. So update student set name equal to P1, age equal to P2, address equal to P3, parameter 3. So where ID equal to 12. So at P1 is text name, P2 is age, P3 is address text. So whatever the values I pass in the text boxes, that will be updated to student table. So I'm opening connection, executing non-query so that I'll get the J value. So then I can display the label saying details updated. So for that, I'm going to take a label. So LBL result, I'll name it as LBL result so that I can avoid writing code. LBL result. Okay. So that way I can save this line now. Okay. One student details updated. Okay. That way I can display a message. Once it is updated, I can display that message. Let's see now, will it work or not? Okay. So I did not remove text, so it is displaying label. So initially there is no student ID, so it's empty. So when I click fill details, it has to fill the details of the student. Okay. So let me remove debuggers and continue. So student ID is 12, name is Harish, age is 26, and address is Vizag. So I'm changing address to Amaravati. Okay. Right. I'm changing age to 28. Right. Harish 28, Amaravati. Now I want to update the details. So to see how it executes, okay, I'll just put a debugger here to understand it more clearly. So I'm just clicking on update details. So it got it. First connection is prepared, command object is declared, setting the text, command text, passing the required parameters. So we can see here, whatever the values we entered, we can see that here. So now Harish, I did not change. So I changed age to 28. I changed text to Amaravati. So I can see that here, right? So setting object, connection is opened, and executing the query. See here, how many rows affected? One row got affected. So that I am printing on the label. Okay, so connection is closed. See here, one student details updated. Let me go back to the screen and check. So previously I have 12, Harish 26, Vizag, right? See here, Harish 28, Amaravati. So this way we will update the records. Okay. So this is the way of updating the details. So we saw example with deleting, we saw example with filling, selecting details or displaying details or filling details, and we saw example with update. So we call these operations as CRUD, create, read, update, delete. So we created new student, we read the student details, we updated the student details, we deleted the student details. This is the process of CRUD operations. Create, read, update, delete. Okay. We tried all four. Right. Any doubts here? Any doubts? So the next topic we have like data bound controls. So till now we are only displaying single student details in the form. Suppose I want to display all the student details on the screen. So we go for grids or data bound control. One of the data bound control is grid view. So we can display it in the form of tabular structure. So before that we will learn data set, then we'll jump onto data bound controls. We have different data bound controls in ASP.NET, among which grid view control is most widely used. We will display all the student details, we will delete a student detail, we will edit a student details with the data bound control, grid view. We'll see that tomorrow. For now, any doubts? I think Prime guys have a session at 10.
Yes, we have a session at 10 a.m.
Yeah, before that, let me explain data set. It's a simple concept. We can complete 2 minutes, I guess. So we saw an example with the data reader. So the next, that is the data reader will work with connection oriented architecture. To go with a disconnected oriented architecture, we will use data set. Okay, data set is known as an in-memory object because the data will be fetched from the database and stored at the client location. Which means the application which is requesting for data, that is C# code. Okay, so this process area will be at the client location, so that we call it as a in-memory location. Okay. Data set is known as a in-memory object, works with a disconnected connection approach. Okay, we don't need to prior connection to be opened. So it will automatically opens the connection with the help of connection and command object, and it executes the data and gets the data and dump into in-memory object called dataset. So dataset directly does not interact with the database. So for that, we don't know how to interact as well. So for that, we use data adapter. Data adapter will work as a bridge between database and dataset. So data adapter will fetch the will connect to the database, will execute the required commands, and it will fetch the data. That data will be filled into dataset. Okay. So the data can be in the form of multiple tables, like 0 or more tables. So that will be represented by data table collection. So data table collection. So the data table connection will contain data tables, data table objects in the data set. Okay. Each data table will contain data rows and columns and constraints that we will see. So this is under system.namespace. Okay. So if you see, so I'm calling some query from a C# program. So this is my client. So data set is an in-memory copy. Table 1, table 2, like this I will have. So when I use SQL data adapter to get the data from the database, SQL server is a data source, SQL server database. So from different tables, I'm reading the data with a data adapter. Adapter will act as a bridge. Okay, it fetches the data from the data tables or database and fills into data set. So that will be filled into data set. Data adapter will use connection object and command object. Okay, command object, it will use command object. Inside command object, we will have connection object. It will automatically establish the connection with the database whenever we execute. Okay, it will automatically establishes the connection with the database and reads the data and fills into data set, and it will automatically closes the connection. So at the client side, which means our C# code, so we can perform operations on different tables. We can update, we can delete, we can add new records, and later we can update back into the database. Again, we can update back into the database using data adapter. We have a method called update ds. Update command we can use and update. We can use update method and update back to the data table or SQL Server DB. Okay. So this is a way how data set and data adapter will work. So data set is a in-memory object. It will work with a disconnected architecture. Data set does not know how to interact or how to connect with the database. So it will use a data adapter. Adapter will use the connection and command object, and it will automatically establishes the connection with the database. It fetches the data and fills the data into data set. So we can interact with the data set, and we can either we can perform any CRUD operation like create, read, delete, update. Then we can, if you want, we can update the data back to the database using data adapter update method. Okay, data set will contain data in the form of data tables like this. Okay, data set will contain a collection of tables. Collection of tables, we call it as a data table collection. Okay, each collection will contain a data table. So each table will contain a row collection or column collection. Okay, row collection or column collection. Each row collection will contain data row. Okay, each column collection will contain a data column. So these are different other properties like child relations, parent relations, constraints. We will see them all together. So this is about data set. Data set will contain data tables collection. Like I have only student collection, student table. So I can have student courses, I can have student marks. So I have 3 tables now: student courses, student marks. So data set holds all these tables. So we call that data table collection. So the data table will become like one is for student, one is for student courses, one is for student marks. First one is student courses. Next, student marks. So there are 3 tables. So that will be holded in the data table collection. So to refer particular table, we use data table of 0 or data table of 1 or data table of 2 like that. So using index, we can read each collection or each table. So inside data table student, we will have data rows, student details. If we take student courses, we will have student courses information. Like that, we will read the data. So that we will see tomorrow. Okay. Right. This is about data set and data adapter. Any questions? Any questions? Just stopping the recording.